Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives. Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today we're going to do a solo episode and we're going to focus on what it takes to get back into your grind mode. So if once upon a time you were really productive and you know you could be your optimal self, but you feel like you've lost it, and it could be due to having kids, like in my case, taking a break from work, or even after COVID, some people never got back their full potential, their discipline, and all of that it takes to be successful. So in today's episode, we will focus on the baby steps we can take to basically get back into our most prime optimal self, to work on our discipline and productivity. So here's a little story time. For me, it has been actually surprisingly difficult to feel like I'm being super productive again. And I know I shouldn't be hard on myself. I did have kids and I've been working throughout the process, but I haven't felt my full productive self. And I thought it was because I wasn't able to fully commit the time and get into the office. But once I was able to arrange babysitting, nanny, school, all of that situation, I realized that it takes way more than just having the time in order for you to be productive. So in today's episode, I want to focus on that. I feel like a lot of times we may find the excuse of not having enough time in order to be productive and get things done, or even do the things that we want to do. However, I did realize that time is not the only issue. It's almost like an excuse. Of course, a lot of us could be limited in time to do certain things if we are responsible for others. However, it does take a lot of discipline and hard work in order for us to get the things that we want to get done. So here's what happened to me. So I was finally able to situate the kids and everybody in order for me to come into the office Monday through Friday, even if it's for a few hours. I said that will be my first step to get things rolling again, for me to feel like I am on my most optimal productive self, because I miss that feeling. I used to be super productive. If you gave me 1 hour, I could get like 10 things done. If you gave me 1 hour, I could probably do a full day's work and feel like I got so much done and really get great results. However, I soon realized that being productive and disciplined is actually a skill. It's not that, you're a productive person or you are a disciplined person. It is a skill and a habit that we build on. And I had done a great job building this skill of discipline in order to be so productive. However, if you don't use it, I guess you actually do lose it, because I realized that I've lost it. For many years, like most of my adult life, I felt like I was so productive and so disciplined. Who would have thought after a couple years of kind of putting my productivity on the back burner and focusing on being a mom, I would lose it. It was such a shock to me. So I want to talk about kind of like the things that I've been doing and how I'm working on getting to my optimal, disciplined, productive self, because I think we can all use that. Or for my moms out there or dads out there who feel like they've lost it and they want to get back into the grind mode, feel super good and super productive and disciplined again, this is the episode for you. So first thing I did is actually I moved my whole warehouse and office closer to my house, because I realized that that's a big roadblock for me in order to physically go into the office, even if it's 2 to 3 hours on any given day. So that I was able to do. Again, it took a lot of decision making. It was super hard to move everything, but it's been great. It's been great to not have to commute. And it's been great that even a short drive, like a 10-15 minute drive, I can get into the office. I can get something done, and then go back home to either my baby or even have lunch or do whatever else I need to do at home. So that was my first thing that I did, is to make my whatever was my roadblock in order to get into the office every day, to remove that from my situation. We do need to kind of like sit and analyze what is going on and what's holding us back and make decisions to make it easier, right? So this is kind of the key thing with habits. If we are trying to build any new habits, we need to make sure we are making it as easy as possible for us. If something is too difficult or too time consuming, it is not likely that it's going to happen. So what we want to do is we want to make things as accessible and as easy as possible to build a new habit. And I have another podcast episode that I talk about building habits, which I highly recommend you guys go listen to it. But I'm going to focus on kind of like what I did to build that again now. So first thing was to move the office closer, if that's an option. Second thing is I said, okay, I'm just going to physically drive and come into the office 5 days a week. Before, I was able to do like 2 to 3 days while I was, pregnant, breastfeeding, having kids and all that fun stuff. But now I'm like, I want to feel like I'm fully focused on my work. Again, I will find balance with my family life, but I want to at least get something done for my business 5 days a week, even if it's 2 hours a day, right? So that's my personal goal. So I said, okay, my first baby step is, even if I get nothing done, is to physically drive and come into the office. That's already success enough. I can celebrate, I can feel good. This is how we build new habits. And that's part of the Tiny Habits process. And that's a book that I love and I mention a lot. It's called Tiny Habits. It really breaks down how you can build good and better habits and how you can break bad habits. I was able for like a good 3 weeks to come into the office every day. So I was super proud and I was feeling really good. So then I was like, okay, now it's time for the second step. What do we do to build on this good habit in order to be productive? And that's kind of when it hit me. And I said, wow, I'm actually able to come into the office every day, but my productivity level is not much higher. My discipline's not there. Sometimes I could be spending hours on doing something, but nothing's really getting done. Or I get distracted and I get on my phone. I get distracted and I try to plan fun things on the computer. And it was mind blowing to me that I was not able to fully focus and be productive. But again, we have to cut ourselves some slack. Things are habits, and discipline takes a lot of time and practice and skill to build back up. We do lose it if we don't use it, right? And for people who have been really productive and disciplined in the past, it's almost like a crazy shock that we're not able to just get it back like that. So first thing I had to do is to kind of like talk to myself and say, that's okay. As long as you're doing the baby steps in order to get there, you will get there, right? We do need to give ourselves some grace and have these pep talks with ourselves if we're trying to build new habits. And being productive and disciplined, it is a new habit, right? Everything that we want to do is actually a new habit. That's how I like to look at it. And if we do baby steps, it is more likely that it is going to get done and it's going to stick around with us. Going back to what I did next. So now that I'm able to come into the office every day, next thing I did is build one task a day that I really want to get done. So on Mondays, I want to get through, for example, 5 important emails that have already been sorted through for me and really like take action on those. So that's the only thing I'm putting for myself to do on Mondays. On Tuesdays, my main thing is go to yoga because that's very important to me. My physical and mental health is super important for me to be productive. So I need to build that habit of exercising or finding what works for me to get into a good mental and physical state. So that's the only thing I put on my calendar in the beginning for Tuesdays. On Wednesdays is just focus on one podcast, one recording, something, do one task towards the podcast. Because again, this is something that I'm passionate about that I want to grow. Then on Thursdays was, okay, this is the content day. I do need to create content for my beauty business. let's try to do that all on Thursday. We can, set ourselves up for success or failure. So I had kind of planned on doing like a whole week's worth of content on Thursday. But mind you, I haven't done this for a while. I had people helping me and doing this for me, but now I want to create my own content as well. And it was a big mind-blowing shock. I was like, oh my God, I don't even really know how to fully create content on my own. So now I had to step back again, and it's again building a new skill. So I realized, okay, I can't do all of this on Thursday. It's just one piece of content, even one post a day should be good enough. Baby steps, right? So I had to scale it back down. I had to analyze and be realistic with myself and be like, okay, so why am I not able to get this thing done on this days? How can I break it down even more and make that habit tinier? So what I did was, okay, first step, I'm not going to push to create the content. I'm going to dress up and feel confident enough for me to physically be in the videos and be able to create that content. So that's a super baby step, right? My next baby step was, okay, I'm going to make sure the camera is ready. Whatever else equipment I need is ready so I can do it. So that's the second baby step, but I'm not actually creating content. But when I'm regularly able to show up dressed and ready to record, and I'm able also to have the equipment ready, my next baby step would be, okay, well, just plan what you're gonna record that day, right? Then I could build on that. Well, you guys get the point. It's tiny habits, and that's how it's able to get done. I'm still working on all these things that I'm talking about, but I've seen a major change with just backing it down. So take my advice, tiny steps, don't be hard on yourself, and just do one little thing and it'll feel good. In the beginning, also, it's so discouraging when things don't get done, but you're mentally and physically like prepared to be so productive and you have so much you want to do, but it just doesn't get done. And then you're just angry and mad and you feel like you failed. So common. It happens to everybody. But the best thing, again, is to start small and don't set yourself up for failure by having all these extreme plans of what you want to do. Because sometimes when we're motivated, we're not realistic with how much we can get done, especially if we're building a new habit, a new thing that we're working on. And for me, honestly, it felt like I didn't know my job. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I'm learning everything brand new. And things change over time if you haven't done it for a while too. So it will take a long time to get the momentum, no matter what you're doing in the beginning, that you're trying to get back to that optimal, productive, disciplined self. It takes time to build that skill. It takes time to build the momentum. But when you do have it, it starts flowing. So I hope those of you that are watching, if you need encouragement, this is it. Like, you got this. You could do it. Keep doing the baby steps and take time at the end of your week to analyze and be like, okay, this is what I planned for this week. This is what I was able to get done. Yay! Make sure you celebrate. That's a huge point, because if we feel good about the things that we are doing, we're more likely to do it again. That positive reinforcement works great on ourselves, right? So even if I'm able, let's say my content example, to just dress up and show up that day ready to make content, but I have not made any content, I'm celebrating in the beginning. Yay, I did it. It's the first step. It may feel silly, but it does work, right? That's how our minds and spirits work, is if we feel good about something, we're more likely to do it. So that's how we're going to build this habit of getting back to being optimal, productive self. And discipline is another thing, right? So discipline is a skill. I mentioned that already, but how do we work on being more disciplined? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the decision to be more disciplined. And we are going to build the character of who we want to be in order to be disciplined again. There's one great book called No Excuses, and it's all about discipline in different areas of our lives: personal, business, work, family, financial, the way we look, all of that. It covers it all. And I really, really enjoy this book because it helps you build up to the character and who you want to be in order to be disciplined. But again, it takes time and practice and skill. And for me too, it's been 2 months now that I'm committed, and I still feel like I'm not the most disciplined as I've ever been. I go back, something throws me off so quickly, and then I need to go back and be focused again. But I know, because I've done it in in the past, if you just inch your way, you do end up building that character for you to be disciplined. So then your definition of yourself changes from being, well, I get some stuff done, into I am super productive and disciplined because I wake up even when I don't feel like it and I get my butt up at the gym. That starts my day great. I feel good. Then I feel like I can go into the office and be more productive and get stuff done. So that's one example. But you have to find the things that work for you and what you want to get done. And I feel like one other thing that I relearned that it was a good reminder for me is we need to plan our day, our weeks, our hours. If we don't, somehow our days, our weeks, our hours get filled with tasks that might not even be important to us. If we don't take the time to sit down and plan what we want to get done and put that intention for that day of the one thing, even when we're getting started to get done, it just doesn't get done. So a good practice for that is at the end of your day, you want to sit down, keep it simple, and write down what you want to get done the next day. Have a simple to-do list. And if you're a meditator, meditate about it, envision what your day is going to look like for the next day, see how it's going to play out. So a good example will be, well, thank you for tonight, or thank you for today. Tomorrow I want to wake up and I want to get X, Y, and Z done. And I envision waking up with a lot of energy. I wake up being productive. First, I'm going to drive to the gym. After that, I'm going to go into the office. I'm going to answer emails for 1 hour that can help increase my productivity and increase my workflow. Then I'm going to have a nice lunch. I'm going to stay in this positive mentality. And after that, I'm going to take 1 or 2 clients. So whatever your day looks like, you kind of want to envision it and go through it and pretty much set your intention for how you want your day to go. Because like I said, we think a lot of times we don't have time, but it's because we are not managing our time and we are not doing what we can with the time that we have. We all have the same amount of time in a day. It's a matter of planning our day in order for us to get what we want to get done. And baby steps, right? That tiny habits. I'm going to keep repeating it because we can also be hard on ourselves. Then it's discouraging. If we set up too much high expectations for things and it doesn't get done, then it draws negative emotions. Then we're less likely to try again. So the key is do small things and work your way up that it feels good the whole time and you're encouraged to do it again. So one example for a tiny habit with exercise is I'm going to start off in the mornings. I'm just going to wake up and put on my gym clothes. I'm not even going to go to the gym. I'm not even going to do anything with exercise, but I'm just going to literally wake up and put on my gym clothes. Now, once this is happening regularly, then I can bump it up, right? Next thing is, okay, once I put on my gym clothes, I'm literally going to sit down in the car and drive to the gym. I'm not going to go in, I'm not going to exercise, but I'm going to drive there, right? And then once that becomes a habit, then the next thing is, okay, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to spend 10 minutes at the gym. Then just like that, you can build it up. Or if it's a push-up, you can start off with 1 push-up, you're done. Then 2, 3. That's how we build any tiny habit. And it could be really challenging, like I said in the beginning, and it could be discouraging if things aren't getting done. But what we need to do is we need to find our inspiration and watch those videos that inspire us. Listen to those podcasts that inspire us. Surround yourself with people who are also trying to work on themselves. Join communities that people are really trying to better themselves. Because if you surround yourself with the right people, right communities, that's how you're going to keep getting encouraged by seeing other people too who are doing the right things, and then you're going to want to work on yourself. But if you surround yourself with people who are not doing much and that's not where you want to be, you're definitely going to be looking at it that way. You're going to be more like the people that you're around, basically. And that's kind of like a universal law. So try to surround yourself with like-minded people who are trying to work hard on themselves. And it is going to be easier to build those skills and productivity and discipline back. But again, practice makes perfect. And like I said, I first focused to just physically get into the office, then get 1 thing a day. And then the next thing I'm trying to do is really like increase the things that I could do in each day. Not necessarily increase the number of hours I'm in the office, but for me to be more mentally prepared when I come in to really get things done, not spend the first hour, 2 hours, have coffee and really like get in the mood, right? And by doing, for me personally, waking up a little bit earlier, going and doing my yoga, kind of meditating, or even I'm not back to fully meditating yet. I've kind of lost that too. But for now, I'm just doing those intentions. I'm just talking to myself kind of what I want to set for my day. And that really helps me be more productive when I first come into the office, compared to me not having a plan, not having kind of that mental and physical stimulation in the morning by exercise or whatever it takes. When I was not doing that, I would come into the office and the first 2 hours, I'm just convincing myself to get things done. And I know you guys know what I mean. So I will keep you guys posted on the next steps. But for those of you who are just kind of getting back into the flow of things, I hope this episode helps you kind of first realize that you have the control and you have the power to make your day however you want. And it is possible. Just do baby steps, one little thing at a time, celebrate, be proud of yourself. Even just watching this video is a huge step towards making better decisions, to be overall build better skills and character in order to be successful. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys are struggling, I am there with you. I have some advice for you. I've had my roller coaster of a life, going from super productive to not productive at all, and then all the way around. So if you guys have any questions, you need help getting back on there and getting back to grind mode, feel free to email, comment below, or join the Instagram for the Yegi Project. And I hope we can build an awesome community and support each other there. Well, until next time, bye. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.